read or heard about that game, movie, or comic, blah, blah, but you haven't heard it from us. So chill, relax, let us talk all about it.
Oh, I started it early. You weren't even ready for that one, everybody.
Oh, wow.
That's right. The thirst is absolutely real. I am Sir Aaron Carter, and you guys are listening to Before You Log Off, and I'm here with two wonderful women, the radical Rachel.
Rachel. Okay, cool. That's better than regular old Rachel.
Yeah, you're getting a little bit up there, so, you know.
Nice.
And the cantankerous Kristy.
Okay, my name starts with a K, not a C. So, like, we need to address that at some point.
Do you
and
not know how alliterations work, though? Do you not know how they work?
I do. They start with the same letter.
Oh, my God. It's the sound. It's all about the sound.
Alliteration's the letters.
Oh, my gosh. And you see, Kristy has had an issue for quite some time with me specifically. I was making my way there. I mean, I could have went with other names for you.
I'm curious.
Decided to go with. I decided to go with that one. I'm just saying.
I'm about to catch these fucking hands.
Whatever.
When I joined like the group chat with us and everything, and then Kristy was in there, he kept renaming Kristy to Katie, and for the longest time, me and Emma both didn't know if her real name was Kristy or Katie.
Well,
welcome to like how my friendship started with Aaron.
Welcome to
we blame Aaron for this.
Welcome to how she didn't want to correct anybody, so it's her fault.
I just thought you were joking, and I didn't realize you just did not know my name.
That is a very Aaron joke. So yeah,
no,
it is 100% is. Yeah,
I would never just continuous.
I just met this dude.
I would never just.
He kept singing Katie Couric, so I was like, "Oh, he's really committing to that Katie Couric."
Literally, you know what? We'll put it to rest here, everybody, so everybody knows the truth of the story. I asked her to fill in a role for a camera position so I can get a camera shot, and I called her like Katie Couric, like the person that's in front of a camera. So that's what I just kept saying the whole time. And so when nobody told me what her real name was the whole time, not for like a day or a week, but months.
It was months.
So you gave her a nickname, like an obvious nickname that was an obvious jokes, and nobody was like, yeah, we'll correct it.
I thought her name was Katie. That's why I said I was like, I'm merging the two together because I think I heard really Katie. Committed. And I have never been so committed to a joke for months. I
didn't know you, so how would I know?
Come on, you gotta have that dedication.
First of all, quote unquote, didn't know me, everybody. She said she knew me for a longer time before that, didn't you?
I don't remember that.
She knew of you, but did she actually know you?
So many lies, everybody. She is literally creating her own universe like Wanda in WandaVision. And it's just, we're all stuck in it, apparently.
Wow, you're the one that sounds delusional, Aaron.
Okay, all right. What were we going to say, Rachel?
That you're delusional.
All right, then. I'm glad that you
seconding that. Motion passed.
Well, it's not motion passed. This is a dictatorship when there are two women in the room and one guy.
I was about to say, there's a lot of ways you can play on that dictatorship.
Wow. All right. Anyway, everybody, a lot of Marvel stuff happened. And if you have not watched WandaVision, I'm sorry. You guys know how the show rolls. We go straight into spoilers. We don't back down. Kristy just saw the episode for the first time. Is she a true fan? I don't know. Me and Rachel watched it at midnight.
Well, some of us have jobs at certain times.
Oh, I'm sorry, Rachel. Do you not work? Do you not? Do you know?
Different times.
I do, but to be fair, I can sleep in and wake up whenever I want.
But the question was, do you work? And I believe you answered yes, Your Honor. I believe. Strike the rest from the record, please. And I work as well. Yes. So I'm just saying, and then I'm seeing in chat, Mr. J-Lap, he said he watched it at least on his lunch at work. So I
work during lunch.
But who cares about their job here in this chat? I think Kristy is the only one.
I'm just saying.
Hell yes.
True fans find a way.
I did. And last time, I literally watched it as you were talking about the show. That's all I'm saying. I was committed.
You were basically in the third trimester. The baby was on its way. It's ridiculous.
The baby being born.
It's ridiculous when the rest of the world was already on their second birthday. So,
wow, you mean their 5th birthday, 10th birthday?
Oh, yeah, good references. Yes, good references. There you go.
Got 'em.
If you don't know, that means you haven't seen the episode, and we're going to go into spoiler territory. Episode 5, ladies first. What did you guys think of this episode? Is there even titles for these episodes, by the way? Now that I'm thinking about it.
That's
I actually never looked.
You guys talk. I will search.
You go, Ray Ray.
Oh shit! I can't start this.
Oh my gosh! Are you serious? Okay, all right. I got the name of it. It's called.
Wait, I had this scene as I watched this like 2 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
This episode was called "On a Very Special Episode."
Yes.
Boom. And it was very special because one of my most controversial, apparently, actors showed up in this episode in a context that I was still happy about. And I was really glad to see it because I liked Quicksilver.
Until I ruined it.
Yes. Oops. Yes. I mean, you and Steven worked really hard to ruin how I feel about Evan Peters, which I already had mixed feelings. And now it's just a flat out yikes, dude.
Yeah, but those are rumors, but I still like his Quicksilver, so I was very excited for it. I actually screamed. I screamed very loud. My cat ran over to check on me to see if I was okay. My neighbors probably hate me. I punched Galen in the arm. I got so excited. So,
wow,
that's a level of commitment. I like this.
Yeah.
So in this episode, we're skipping all the way past the end. There's a lot of stuff in the middle, though, definitely, that we're going to get to. You have the return of Wanda Maximoff's brother, quote unquote, Pietro Maximoff.
Hey, brother.
And it's not, what's the name? Aronson? What's the other actor?
Taylor Aronson? I don't know. Hold on.
Yeah.
That's his name. I don't know his real name.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought you were saying. Wow. So instead of the original guy, instead of the original Quicksilver, it's the Quicksilver from the less popular Marvel Fox X-Men
Taylor
universe.
Johnson.
Yes.
Or you could say it's Quicksilver, aka Kick-Ass's best friend in that movie.
Yep. I saw that picture of the two of them next to each other. They were in Kick-Ass together.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's Kick-Ass's friend in the movie.
Okay. Well, there you go. He shows up, turns the Marvel Cinematic Universe on its head, and is in there for all of 5 seconds. So
amazing.
But there's, like I said, there's a lot that skips over. So this is more now, you know, how every episode is based off of some type of sitcom or, you know, an era of sitcoms. This one, we're now into the late 80s, early 90s. Got a little bit of Full House. Got a little bit of Step by Step. Is that the name of that show?
I've never seen it, so sure, let's go with that.
I only recognized Full House.
Yes.
Yeah, same.
There's a bunch in this thing. If you got basically just think of a family sitcom in the 90s, and there's references in this one. Even the theme song that goes on is a whole bunch of just like subliminal messages for the audience to the, you know, to kind of clue in to what's going on. Like the whole thing is about I'm making this up as we go along or whatever. Like clearly somebody's making it up as they go along in the, you know, in the show. But I like the split between the TV show and then what's happening in the real world with Shield.
Sword.
Oh yeah, Sword. Sorry.
Big fan. How dare you?
Well, because I read a rumor.
I guess who the real fan is.
Who's not watching the show?
I read a rumor that people are thinking that Sword is just a newer Shield. Like Shield is gone in the MCU, right?
Yeah.
After Captain America and and that they're just not coming back, and Shield is basically just that. I mean, Sword is now that. And I don't want that to be the thing at all. Like, I want them to be two separate entities like they are. I mean, not really separate. I mean, they still work in tandem in the comics and everything like that. But Sword is, you know, space. Shield is, you know, Earth.
I have mixed feelings on Sword because I feel like they're part of this problem.
Oh, 100%.
Because, like,
okay.
Because I feel like I think one of the theories I also saw was like them talking about how like I feel like they were experimenting on Vision, And I feel like that's why she was so upset as well when she faced against them and wanted to protect Monica, who wasn't part of the sword team when it happened. Because like AI, like they talked about it at the beginning of when they introduced sword, is like, hey, we're looking into AI, weaponizing things, like weaponizing vision.
And that's probably like why they're like so keen. They're like, hey, not only like
Yep.
that she have like a couple thousand people like hostage, but also like she has vision. And it was very clear that they were like dissecting him. Like they took him apart because he wasn't in pieces like that when he died.
Yeah. So I feel like they're not trying to save the town. They're trying to reacquire vision for some reason.
I feel like you're right, but I feel like it's led by that one guy. I feel like it's
the director.
Yeah, I feel like it's led by him. Like if it was anybody else with without questionable morals in head of Shield or Sword, like if it was Monica, she wouldn't be approaching it the same way that he's doing it, and this like, you know, weaponized way of like, we need to go in and we need to neutralize her and stop this type of thing. You know,
they always have to have that one guy,
and you got to watch that guy. It's just like whatchamacallit.
Which is interesting to me because he sent her out there originally, like he maybe just wasn't aware, and then like he never like that's what's weird to me because she's grounded in the sense that she can't go back into space in any context whatsoever. So he sends her to this site and he doesn't try to get her away from this site. Like he's letting her see everything that goes down and all the terrible choices that he's making.
And that's the other thing. This whole she's grounded. Now that you mentioned that, I'm wondering, is that something a little more? Because in this episode, no blood test results come back from anything on her. Like
for the brain scan, it was totally blank.
Yeah, brain scan is totally like everything is like inconclusive. And I'm like, we know as comic book fans, her character is a superhero. She's Photon, she's Spectrum, and she has, you know, super abilities. Are these hints towards that? Like, has she manifested powers because of being in there and being thrown out? Or is there something more? And like, does Sword or Shield Sword already know? Because they're like, oh, you're grounded. Is that like just a euphemism for like, oh, you can't fly anymore? We're going to stopping you with your, you know.
So they're trying to do the Captain Marvel thing to her?
Yeah. You know, exactly. Yeah, 1,000%, Rachel. Yes. Just like that. Like the whole movie, everybody, Captain Marvel was, you know, downplaying her. Like, hey, you're weaker than you are type of thing, even though this person is immensely strong. Is that what's going on?
Yeah, because like he did say that his mom made this rule, and it was like her rules, like so she has to follow it. So maybe her mom knew, maybe she had like powers before, and then she disappeared for 5 years. And so when she like reawakened, they were kind of like, oh, what do we do with her? We don't really know what she's capable of, so let's keep her grounded. But since there's another super, maybe she can like go figure out what that problem is happening over in like WandaVision area.
It's going to be interesting to see where her character goes in the next episode, because like it's out in the open now. When Wanda comes out and she confronts the sword soldiers and the director and like, hey, you try to blow me up, you know, blah blah blah, and Monica knew nothing about it. So now everything's out in the open. She knows his intentions. She knows, you know, what Sword is kind of there for, which she didn't think about that before. Now I feel like she's going to want to try to go in there and rescue her from the inside out type of thing. And we kind of get little hints of something kind of like that in the little mid-season trailer or whatever. But other, I guess, big things that happen in the episode. We get more time with the twins.
Yes, and they age up really, really fast.
They just give me that like Shining twin vibe where like if I saw them at the end of a hallway, they'd probably murder me.
I mean, if they can't control their powers, yeah. Like, but that's the other thing. We're not seeing any actual like abilities from them.
Not yet. Maybe they have to like, because they're in the comics they're like mutants in a way. Maybe they have to hit puberty for them to actually activate, and they're still 10, so
yeah. I mean,
Steven actually just said something in chat. He said when they talked about the barrier hex, they mentioned that there's photons in it. So his theory is the photons in the barrier mixed with the cosmic power of Scarlet Witch will give a photon her powers.
So then where the photons come from? That's
a good question.
Yeah, like, did they just...
I mean, there's obviously something going on with her cellular makeup because she didn't show up properly on scans. So there's like maybe a combination of all of those things and it like activates it.
Or maybe she spent too much time with the Skrull when she was a kid and she got some type of rare, I don't know, condition.
All right. Well,
I mean, who knows? I mean, who knows? She was really chummy with them as a kid. If you watch Captain Marvel, you know, she was like, can they stay? You know, who knows what the effects of our aliens spending the night at your house every night?
You're not. I mean, fair, but also about the murder children. There was something I don't want to lose this thought. There's they're murder children until they become adults. They were resistant to Wanda's magic. So, like, is it just because they have their own innate magic, but they haven't been able to access the powers? Like,
that could be a reason. I mean, or they could also start the trend of mutants' abilities don't work on their family. Like in the old X-Men cartoon when Cyclops met Havoc and didn't know that was his brother, and he uses optic blast on him. It did nothing to him. Like, it just bounces off his chest. And then vice versa when Havoc used his abilities on Cyclops. So, like, mutants, their abilities don't work that well on their family. It could be that. It could be exactly what you said, too. Maybe they have magical abilities that are protecting them. Or it could be these are fake things. They're not real, Wanda. And you're trying to, affect not real things. So maybe your magic doesn't work on there.
Trapped in there, though. I feel like she's trapped to some degree. Like, she's trying. I feel like
herself.
But no, I feel like something started it off, and now she's there. She's trapping herself because she's protecting the kids. Because, like, she's obviously knows what's going on. She went out and confronted the Sword agents. She goes back in, and the way that she talks with Viz, she's like, I don't know how this all started. I
feel like she's lying to him right there. She's lying to him right there so she can have control over him.
I don't know.
Okay, because, so Rachel's, you're on the side that it's 100% Wanda.
I don't think it's like 100% her, but maybe like 80, 90%. Like, she created it and it started to get out of control. And then maybe like because we're kind of thinking like Agnes, she's the older witch lady that kind of helps mentor her in the like comic books, right?
Agatha Harkness, I believe her name is in the comics.
Yeah, and I think she's kind of like helping like maintain Wanda like in that barrier that she like built.
And then Kristy,
that's why she's always there to help her when like problems start happening.
She is like every second. If you go back and watch from episode 1, everybody, she's like right there every single time. Yeah. And so, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was just gonna say, like, I feel like her and the kids are the only ones that are on the script, and like she kind of breaks that fourth wall, and she breaks the script. She's like, "Oh, do you want me to come back in again and like pick up the babies? Like,
that was
do you
weird.
Want to like redo it?"
I
was like, "What?"
Yeah, that was weird because the only reason why I thought that was out of place and kind of weird is because if she's playing a role where she knows that Wanda is in control of everything and she has to play along, does that mean she knows there's some repercussion to not playing along? Like, you're still kind of aware of everything?
Maybe that's like her kind of like testing Wanda to see how she'd react.
So, and then what do you think? What's the percentage you think is Wanda and somebody else, Kristy?
I really do think it's someone else. Like, I feel like her powers manifesting out of grief is real. Like, because like I said, like, I think it started off with these Sword was doing weird shit with Vision. She got it. She ran off. I think she met somebody in Westview that started the like whole, like, let's put an entire barrier up. Like, I can't imagine Wanda intentionally wanting to keep all of these people like held hostage 24/7. Like, yes, her grief is intense and she hasn't made all the best decisions, but she's grown from it. And like when they talked about like Vision's will and respecting it, like, I don't ever imagine she would have gone against his wishes when he died. Like, and even when she mentioned to the kids, like, we can't bring someone back to life, she didn't even bring her own brother back to life. She brought someone else in.
So, okay. So because I'm looking through chat as well, and I'm kind of, reading things. J-Lab was talking about the kids full-blown aged themselves up when I was like, they really haven't shown their individual powers. Like, in the comic books, their individual powers, one has the same powers as mom, the other one has the same powers as uncle, so speedster and hex abilities, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that could have been the hex kid making them both grow up, quickly, but I was on the point of, like, they haven't shown super speed, or an actual, hex thing. And then going to J-Lap again, where he was like, Monica said those are Wanda's kids. When you're inside, I think you're just kind of brainwashed in there. So it's like, it's kind of, you're going to believe whatever until you get back to your own head space. Like, and then when you're out of there, there's probably some residual, like, I don't know, what do you call it?
What?
Like you're still under that that mindset of like, you're trying to figure out, is this real or is this not real? Squiggles was asking, if we're going full on spoilers here, I'm just going to ask if she can summon her brother from a different multiverse. Can she just summon the Mind Stone from another multiverse to heal Vision? ?
Can't she just summon a different Vision?
So I want to go back to yours, Kristy, and because his question about summoning the brother, and you were like, she has control, or she may not have control, because why didn't she just bring somebody dead back? I don't know if they're ever going to play it to where she can bring like the actual dead back, but maybe in some way inside of her that she really, really wants her brother back, it triggers her ability to manipulate realities.
Yeah.
And she, inadvertently brings this other Quicksilver from a different reality back. So like, cause that's the closest thing she can think. And like, we were talking about it before the stream. I kind of referenced the Spider-Verse when Kingpin wanted to bring his wife back. They both died, but he could just all he was trying to do was bring her from a different reality. Like, there was no way to get his wife back, so let me take a different reality's wife. And I think this is their lead into getting you comfortable with the multiverse, because that's where we're going.
This was supposed to like tie in, like lead into this. Was it the second Doctor Strange movie?
Yeah. So
do we have a release date for that movie?
No.
January 2nd, 2022.
Really?
No, but
I hate you.
You believed for 1 second, and that's all
I
that
trusted
matters.
you for one moment, and it was the biggest mistake of my life. So
that was the biggest mistake of your life?
For today, right now, in this moment, yes.
I was going to say, you have lived a sheltered life then, if that was the biggest mistake.
Only. And all the other constant Aaron betrayals.
Wow.
There's so many betrayals from Aaron, I can't even count anymore.
But
I actually heard a theory that might be interesting, and I wanted to share with you guys. I found it on TikTok because I'm really on it. Yes. But like, so like the whole barrier and everything, and like you see like the blue static, right? So it's not like her normal magic where it's red. And some people were thinking, do you guys remember what movie was it? Was it Winter Soldier, when Tony Stark, he made that hologram program that looked like a reality where he like replays a memory from his past with his parents?
Yeah,
like,
Barf.
Yeah, Barf.
Yeah, Barf.
What if when she was in there with Vision, she stole that and she kind of like used it to kind of like, or used her powers to enhance it and make this big, huge, like alternate reality neighborhood?
Okay, now this isn't a knock towards her.
Yeah.
But I don't think she's that smart.
I don't think she's that smart. That's why she has magic.
Yeah, I know. And I would lean towards her doing reality warping over technology on this one.
Yeah, but I feel like it would explain like why the barrier was blue. And then when she got like really mad at this episode, it started to turn red because like she used more of her magic. And that's when like the reality of warping like happened, and she actually broke through the multiverse and pulled in like her brother from the X-Men movies.
So you made a really good point there that I kind of want to touch. Like that idea, it started off blue. So this just makes me think like someone else started it, and now she's decided to just own it. And she's like, hey, now that I've had to experience this, I'm like, cool, whatever. I've got kids now. I've still got Vision here. Now it's mine, and no one else can take this away from me. Like I didn't even think about that idea that they were different colors till you just mentioned that. So now I'm just like, it started off as someone else's, and now I think it's 100. Like she's making it hers.
So then eventually they're going to have to show, like how the person tricked her to even start. Because like in the first episode, there's no kids, right? Until the very end, right? So
until the very end of the second episode.
Yeah, until the very end. Wait, is it the second? Oh, so there's no kids at all in the first episode. Okay, so then so then what would be her motivation for staying there? I think episode 1 may have been
Vision.
Somebody else. Really? Just Vision?
Hey. I mean, I could see it. She lost everybody. She was tortured as a kid. Like, she has absolutely nobody. Like, all of her friends, the Avengers, they're like, I don't know, pretty much all dead now, or they're off in space. She's alone.
Yeah, and think about it now. Like, she's been experiencing all of this grief, and now, like, she's obviously aware something's going on and didn't have full control maybe at the beginning, but she woke up and Vision was there, and she just like fell into the part of the housewife and just got to live out her life with Vision now.
Okay, so how do you
keeps reminding him, don't think about the fact that we aren't here. Like, don't think about the fact that there's something else going on. Like, we're here, we get to enjoy this, we have our kids now.
How do you explain the footage though of her breaking in and stealing Vision?
I still don't know if that was her, though. That's the thing, is like, if S.W.O.R.D. is playing a part, like, it's really easy to show that to manipulate people.
That's some real good. I mean,
it could be Skrulls too, because like, basically, was it Nick Cage? He's a Skrull, or
yeah, but they showed her using like powers and everything.
Yeah, that's true.
On video, it's literally on video, and like parts of those videos were like all staticky and stuff. Like that kind of level of manipulation when they have holographic technology. I'm like look at like, what do we call it? Like what is it, deep AI or whatever now? Like we can do that now, and we don't have the level of technology they had then. I agree.
In that universe, it would definitely be feasible for them to just doctor the whole thing up and get some, random footage that they found of her out and just like put her in, the whatchamacallit. And also, why wouldn't S.W.O.R.D. tell Monica this, when she woke up? Like, hey, we had a breach. Because she was in that same building, right? Like, yeah. So like, hey, we had a breach.
She didn't agree. Remember, she's like, you're weaponizing things. And that's why I think like they were trying to weaponize Vision. And like, there's no way they're going to tell someone who just came back from like the blip and is like, oh, why are you, this isn't what the original intention was. Why would they tell her like, oh yeah, so we took it an extra level and now we're trying to weaponize a dead AI.
Yeah. And they don't have like Tony Stark to really stop them either.
Yeah.
And he's the one that made him.
I mean, there's kind of like nobody to stop, there's no Avengers or anything like that now. Like,
yeah, so. I think it was her that stole him. And I feel like she has most control in the reality still, just because like in the first and second episode, you could see her like changing things subtly, like around her. When things started to go bad, like she would just kind of like do like this weird like little head nod or like a blink, and then you'd see like it change. Like, was it when the boss, he was like choking? You could tell like he was choking because of her, because he was questioning things too much. And then finally when she was like, hey, help him, like she saved him. Everything stopped.
But that's the thing. I think at that point she wanted to protect the reality, because like she mentioned like in this episode, she's like, hey, I don't know how this all started, but like it was clear she wanted it to continue. Like the look on her face when she opened the door and Pietro was there, like she's just like, Pietro.
Yeah, that's when I think like her powers are getting out of control though. Like, so she doesn't know exactly what she's doing. She's really wishing that she had somebody else there, because her and Vision are having a fight. And so now she feels like, I don't have anybody like really back me up. I need more control. And so she like was wishing for her brother, because he was always there in the past. And so her powers just kind of pulled her brother from another universe.
What if she didn't? Hold on, and I want to get to LB's question in chat too. I see it in there because she has another theory, and I want to get back to that one. But with you guys talking, just made me think of something else. Of what if she didn't bring her brother into that universe? Because when she answered the door, she was shocked by it, right?
Yeah.
She didn't foresee that at all.
And also, remember right before she opened the door, Vision was like, well, look at our scheduled visitor is about to show up.
Right. And she was like, that's not me. Like she said,
Mhm.
I didn't do that. And I know you don't believe me. And he was like, yeah, I don't. I don't believe you. So maybe because whoever else, I'm going to just go with Agatha, the next door neighbor chick with Ralph. You know, maybe if she's the other percentage that's manipulating everything in that world, maybe she was like, this is the best I can do to stop Vision in that moment from breaking everything, you know, because he was on the cusp of like, hey, there's no kids outside, Wanda. Like, we have the only 2 kids in this whole, you know, neighborhood, really? Like, where's, you know, what's going on? Like, he was about to break the case. And next door neighbor couldn't show up. Yeah, and next door neighbor couldn't show up again because then that would just more fuel to the fire. Be like, look, there she is again, like right on cue. So let's send something that's going to stop the argument and shake up things. I can't resurrect her brother, but I can manipulate, you know, something else.
And it was something that she had already thought about previously in the day of like, yeah, my brother, I remember him. He's important to me too.
Last 2 episodes, brother has come up. So definitely.
What if, because like there's been like hints and like little images of like you said, was it the Reaper?
Yeah, Grim Reaper.
Of him, of him in the background and everything. So what if like when she went to go get Vision's body, she made a deal with him, like Kristy was saying, and he kind of helped create this whole universe for her. And Agatha, she was kind of like drawn to that power, and she's like, there's like a witch here, so that's why she's always there to help Wanda, because she's like, maybe we shouldn't trust this guy because maybe he has some sort of like alternate like scheme, and he's the one that like brought Quicksilver. I forgot his name for a second. I don't know why. Because he is the Reaper, he can bring people, right?
I can't remember all his abilities. I know he's a lot of technology based stuff. I don't know if he's any magic stuff.
He has to be like tied somehow, because maybe like he made the technology for that reality and it was like infused with her magic.
I know he has like some abilities to reanimate bodies, but not like actually bring them back, like personalities or anything like that. Not that I know of.
Well, that would explain why Vision, he has no memories of his past. All he knows is he woke up in this reality and he doesn't know anything else before that.
Yeah, and I mean the little signs, like you said before, of them showing his helmet in like the cartoon in the beginning,
and like his face in the wallpapers and things like that.
That those are good subtle hints and stuff like that. I don't know if they're, you know, I would like to see them pay off because he is intertwined in their stories, like in the comic book stories, like older ones. I don't. They'd have to do some type of, I don't know, like a introduction, like maybe the mailman, because he's always saying like cryptic stuff. And he's somebody, I feel like it's a thing where we've seen it already, but we don't know what it is. You know what I mean?
What if he's because remember when Agatha was talking to that one neighbor who was like cutting through his fence and they were kind of like scheming, talking about stuff, and when Vision caught him, what if he's the Reaper?
Yeah, like, that's I mean, that could for sure be him. It's one of those things where you've seen it already, but you know, you didn't know what it was.
Exactly.
Let me get back to LB's question in chat. She says, have you guys talked about the theory that Shuri was able to disconnect the Mind Stone enough from his brain? Maybe she just has to give him life again. He's fine now. So like maybe she didn't need the Mind Stone to, you know, to fully get one back.
I don't know, because like we saw his body, like the way she, like when he kind of turned into the corpse with the missing stone, and like Wanda looked terrified in that moment. Like I don't know, I can't imagine him being fine after all of this. Like I'm also curious if he can even leave the area, or if the moment he leaves, he's just inanimate again.
That would be hilarious. As soon as he steps out, he just
crumbles.
I'd be like, well, you should have stayed in, bro.
Yeah, I feel like it's the same thing with like her kids in the comics, because like her kids are just like made up her imagination. So if she's not like fully focused on it, or if she's like gets too distracted, she sees like basically his corpse. So it's like all of her magic making him be alive again.
Sir Butch in chat says, here's a question. Why did Monica not want to talk about Captain Marvel? She dismisses the convo hella quick, like she's mad at her or something.
Yeah, I thought that was weird too.
Yeah, that definitely didn't make any sense for somebody that she looked up to as a child. If you ever watched Captain Marvel, the first one, well, there's no second one yet, so yeah. I mean, but she helps her pick the colors for her costume. She wants to fly in space like Auntie Carol, and like it's totally a character she looked up to. Is this a Doctor Who separation thing, like when he said he'd be right back for Amelia Pond and took forever,
straight up abandoned her?
And I honestly think that's what it is, because she went to space and she disappeared for like
for a long time.
Yeah, 40 years or something like that.
Until Thanos came, basically, she was gone, right?
Yeah.
Where is she now? Like, I don't remember where she is, because it's only a few weeks after
she's
Endgame,
off planet. Right? So like if it's wait, actually, you know what? I have no idea. Because she was at the funeral. So yeah, she was there, because I went back and I looked at everybody that was at Tony Stark's funeral, and it's everybody. But there's nobody missing.
For 5 seconds. She was there for 5 seconds. She doesn't know the man.
She was further back than everybody else. Like, she wasn't like, you know.
No, I mean, she only knew Tony Stark for 5 seconds. Why is she at the funeral?
It's a respect thing.
He's basically a war hero kind
of thing.
It's
true. One of those. So she was at least on Earth. She'd want to pop in and be like, hey, Monica, remember me? Like, I haven't aged, but you sure have, you know?
Damn. Throwing shade over here.
That's not shade, people. It's just a fact. She's just like, throwing out a fact.
You look old and I don't.
Oh my! I didn't say. I said you've aged. You've aged.
Yeah, I think J-Lab kind of nailed it. Like, I guess Carol gave Nick Fury a way to contact her, but not Monica and her mom. So like, Carol just straight up like pieced out.
So maybe it's a cold shoulder thing. Like, oh yeah, no, we don't need her. Other question: who is she trying? What engineer is she trying to contact? That would be very interested in what's going on there. Monica texts somebody and is like, I got I think a aero engineer, right? Or a aerospace engineer. Yeah, that would be very interesting.
Fantastic Four.
Ooh, I don't know. Maybe. So there's a lot of engineers in the Marvel universe. That's why this one is just so freaking wide open to who it could be.
But I heard rumors that they did want to like reboot it for a millionth time.
True. I mean,
so
they are going to. They've already announced that they're going to do the Fantastic Fours, but to do it in here, like
won't be like, it'll be just like a little hint. It probably wouldn't be like a full on cameo. It'd just be like a little thing, so like a little hint, be like a little teaser.
So here's my guess. And this is just like a personal want, basically. Mm-hmm. There's a character named Adam Brashear in the Marvel universe. He also goes by the Blue Marvel. But he's an engineer as well, super smart, like genius character. And in the comic books, him and Monica have kind of like a relationship. They were on a team together called the not the Avengers. I'm blanking on it, but somebody in chat will know. But anyway, they're connected, and I can see them bringing him in as a quote unquote normie, and just playing him under the radar, like he doesn't have superpowers, even though, because that's in the comic books, he has to pretend like that. Like, he's like one of the most powerful characters in the Marvel universe, but he has to pretend like he's not a superhero. So I can see them bringing him in like that, and then like you can play that later, because they've already said they're bringing in Kamala Khan. We know that. They already said they're going to do what's her name, America Chavez. Some way down the line as well, and I can't remember what they said they're bringing her in. And you already have Captain Marvel, and you have Monica Rambeau. Those are 5 members of a team that was already established as kind of like an Avengers team in the Marvel universe in the comic books. All they're missing is the Black Panther, and I don't know how they're gonna, add that character,
multiverse.
So
bring him from a new multiverse.
if you got the Ultimates, that's the name. I got it. They were called the Ultimates. So like, you got all the characters. Let's start seeding everything. That way you can have, that payoff in the end. Because Kevin Feige said they're not doing any Avengers movies for a while. He said they're gonna build up this universe before they get to the Avengers movie. So I don't know. I think sprinkling stuff like that here and there, I'm very excited to see what happens though. Squiggles in chat just dropped a bomb saying, "Okay, hear me out. I think it's Wonder Man and Grim Reaper who kick the whole thing off. Both Wonder Man and Grim are from New Jersey, and they have resurrection encounters with Wanda in the comics. So if they do a thing where the engineer that she calls in is Wonder Man, then okay. Then I think everybody's theory will go straight towards it's the Grim Reaper inside there because they're brothers.
Yeah.
And we'll be like, okay. But
I mean, that would actually make a lot of sense.
But we're on episode, 5? And they haven't really given away gigantic plot points yet that we didn't.
I feel like the whole first few episodes were like a slow build up. Like they kind of wanted you to question things, be very mysterious. And now they're like dropping like big, huge plot points. I mean, they just brought back her brother. She has kids now, so I feel like that would be like the next one. That's
I mean, I feel like everything that's been said is kind of stuff that we already kind of hinted towards. Like we knew she was in an alternate reality, or we knew she had something to do with that, controlling everything. And I think the biggest thing was the Quicksilver. He came out of nowhere.
I called it though.
You did spoil it. You did spoil it early in
but it wasn't even before I heard that rumor that he'd be there. I was talking about, I think in the last podcast, or at least talking to you guys offline. I was like, I think Quicksilver is going to appear. She's going to bring him from the Fox X-Men universe, and that's how the multiverse is going to happen. She's going to break that dimension, that fourth wall.
So here's, and I forgot all about this one because I really felt no way about them bringing in the Fox one, and I'm historically known for hating the Fox X-Men franchise.
I like them.
It's so terrible, everybody.
Yeah, they're okay.
It's so terrible.
They're good.
Mixed feelings.
So this is why I wrote in chat, I was like, I think they changed my thought process on this one only because of DC. So in DC, they had the merging of their entire landscape together when they showed that the Arrowverse was connecting everything. You had all the different type of shows, from the Doom Patrol to the Zack Snyder Dark Justice League universe, right? Showing
Even showed Michael Keaton.
They showed Michael Keaton, everything. It tied in every single universe and was like, this is how it is. This is how, if you're reading the comic books at home and you see that there's a multiverse in the comic books, what we're showing you now is just a part of that multiverse. It's just a different medium. You're seeing it on TV as opposed to the comic book. It's not the same. These are different. So I feel like with them doing this with the Fox, Quicksilver is showing them that hey, maybe this is Marvel. Now we're trying to introduce you to the multiverse. This is not a singular universe. So you get the fans that are like, oh, that didn't happen in the comics, blah, blah, blah type of stuff. Well, yeah, it could have, but in a different universe. Because
exactly. And that's what I really like about it.
Yeah.
That's what I really like about it. And in the Spider-Man, they're bringing back Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire. So I just feel like it's really cool when they do that because when they were doing all the reboots, it kind of felt like they were like, oh, those weren't that good. Let's just reboot it, kind of erase it, forget it. And now they're like, no, they're making all the movies, all the superhero movies relevant. They're all important, equally good. They're just different stories. So
Butch in chat asks, he's like, do I hate the X-Men actors or do I hate the Fox X-Men writing?
Exactly. It's the writing.
So it's a little of both. A little column A, column B.
I guess it depends on the character.
If I had to pick some stuff out of it, right? If I had to pick some stuff out of it, I'll take Fassbender. I'll take the original Jean-Luc Picard. At his prime as Professor X.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll take the original Magneto. Why am I blanking on his name?
Are you serious?
Gandalf?
Gandalf?
Ian McKellen.
Yes, Ian McKellen. I will take him because I in the original X-Men, when I remember first time ever watching it, and I saw those two as those characters, I was like, yeah, that's Magneto, that's Professor X. These two characters are great. Yes, excuse me, Sir Ian. Sir Ian. Yes.
Sir Ian, yes.
Let's not. And Sir Patrick Stewart, actually.
Yeah, they're both knighted.
Yeah, they're both knighted. That's correct. So I would cherry pick them. And again, Fassbender.
Hugh Jackman.
So Hugh Jackman, I think, has got his run is good. It's good and done.
How dare you?
I think it is. I'm sorry. Like he did an amazing job as Wolverine. I won't take it away from him, but I think it's done. I think it's done. Just like Jean-Luc Picard's is done. Just like Ian's is done. Both the knights can rest. So that means I'm only taking Fassbender, to be honest. Like, I think that's it. If I had to cherry pick the best actors out of them, that's where I'm going. So if they can pull that off somehow and be like, now
what about Beast? Frasier is Beast, man.
Nah, go somewhere. No. No.
Jennifer Lawrence.
No.
He was actually pretty good. He was pretty good.
Jennifer Lawrence didn't even want to be in those movies.
I'm just like, let me go look at the cast of X-Men and see who did I actually like from that show.
Exactly. They were nobody.
Hugh Jackman,
I liked Evan Peters as Quicksilver.
Yes.
He had two highlights in two movies
I feel like
that
his
he was
personality
in.
fit Quicksilver though. The way he portrayed the character.
I feel like the only thing I would want them to take, I mean, and they've already taken it, so I don't even care anymore. But I feel like the only thing that I would want them to take from that character is his speed, because he was light years faster than what we got in the original Age of Ultron Quicksilver. The guy that couldn't outrun bullets for some reason. Like, like you have one superpower, bro, and that
was intentional, though.
Get out of here! All right,
It was intentional to be human shield. Yeah,
I already walked away from that movie, going like, "What? What was that? Like, was that an Avengers movie, or was that a Joss Whedon movie?" Like
Joss Whedon, you could tell because they kept having the jokes where the guy lands in the girl's boobs.
It was 1,000% a long episode of Angel with a Marvel skin on it. That's all it was, people.
It was.
That's all it was. Fight me about it, because I'm right.
Ooh. Know what I'm excited for, though?
Reboot of Angel?
No. God, no. God, no. That needs to stay back away in the 90s.
Wow.
Stay there. Don't come back. No, what I'm really excited for, I talk about all the time. Aaron's gonna be like, "Oh my god," and telling me to be quiet, whatever.
And
but like Quicksilver, I'm like, okay, well, maybe the X-Men, because he never talked about having a twin sister, right? So maybe his sister, she died, and so that's why they eventually get connected and like, oh, I lost my sister and you lost your brother. We're kind of like brother and sister in a way. But when you do see. He has a little sister.
Oh my god!
Maybe she comes through, and when she matures and hits puberty, she gets her mutant powers, and she becomes Polaris.
So your idea that you would put into this is that the Quicksilver from the Fox universe lost his Wanda, or lost the Polaris.
His Wanda.
Oh, okay, lost. Okay,
because he has his Polaris. You see him holding her, and he can tell like he's very protective of her because he sees all like the attacks happening. And that one. Which X-Men movie was it? I don't even know. I don't even care. But
because it didn't
he's watching like
everybody.
TV of like the attacks where it was like Jennifer Lawrence or something like that is trying to kill the president, and he's holding a little girl that's his sister, and he can tell he's trying to be very protective of her, like trying to comfort her and make her feel okay. Maybe he's doing that because he lost his other sister, and so he wants to make sure this one's feeling okay.
I mean, that's a stretch.
No, it's not. This is what's happening, Aaron.
This is a theory.
It's definitely, yeah, you can call it that for sure. You can call it a theory.
You know, have my theories been wrong yet?
I don't know, because they're I mean, you could
Did I guess Quicksilver was coming? Yes, I did.
Did you guess it, or did you read it somewhere and then tell
I didn't
us
read
all?
it anywhere. I didn't read it anywhere.
Okay, all right. So you can spin it to where it's like, since they're twins, they have a stronger connection than, I guess the other people. And, maybe that's what
Other
pulls
people.
them. I mean, like in their universe, because I don't know any other twins in the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Wiccan and Speed.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm saying like they're new. They're new. So,
Gotcha.
Still twins, dude.
Yeah. I mean, but what
All
are they?
twins matter, man.
They're
Come on.
fraternal, right?
Still
Oh, I mean, so
Are
is
they-
Wanda and
Are they
Quicksilver.
really? Are they
Yeah.
really? Are
Wanda
they
and
really?
Quicksilver were fraternal.
Are they really though? Those are identical. Have you seen the comics? They look exactly
You can't
alike.
be identical twins
They
if
look
one's
exactly
a girl, one's a
alike.
boy.
That's identical.
I'm really
They're all
concerned about
wow,
Aaron's
take
public
my
education.
Identical. So
Was there education? I'm really concerned now.
So-
Fraternal twins.
if they're not showing anything though from like a little, kid, because they didn't show anything on her side of the field, right? Like she never had a little sister in Sokovia.
No, maybe because like they were taken from their parents, right?
No, I thought their parents died.
Well, their parents died. They
Yeah.
weren't able to have another kid after them because they died.
So then where are you getting the second, kid from? Just ripping her from the other universe?
Yeah. And he said,
And
hey,
from
I have
her,
a sister and she couldn't have a sister. Like, every multiverse is different.
but then she ripping her away from her parents then too, right?
Fuck
I mean, they just
Oh,
stole their son.
okay.
All I'm saying is they already stole their son away. Why not just take both their kids?
Yeah.
I mean, I think parents would be more sympathetic to losing, a little small girl
Child is a
than
child,
an
regardless
than
of the
adult.
age. How dare you?
No, because he's a full-grown adult now.
Yeah, but
That's
he's
still
an
their
adult now.
child.
It's been a few
Also-
years, so she could be a
also-
teenager. And they send their teenagers off to Xavier School and never see them again anyway. So
Also, the mom in those X-Men movies didn't even like Pietro. Remember when they went to go get him and she answered the doors like, what did he do now?
yeah,
Like,
maybe she feels the same way about her daughter.
So if he
Maybe she's
runs
an unfitting
off,
parent.
no, because
Yep.
that daughter
Yeah.
looked like she was cared and loved for. She was like a little princess playing around with toys
Until
and
they
stuff
find
like
out
that.
the truth about her.
Oh
Yeah,
my
maybe
gosh.
All
when
her
she finds
powers,
out,
that's
she has
it.
powers, she'd be like, oh, she's going to be shitty just like Pietro. I'm going to ship her off to Xavier School.
Who's
And
trying to
Quicksilver's-
reality warp now, you ladies? Who's
Wow.
trying to reality warp now?
No, we figured
I'm just
you
saying
had
theories,
so
my
much
dude.
fun being delusional. I figured we could step it
Wow.
up as well.
Thank you,
Wow.
Kristy. Thank you. This is why I needed to have another girl here. I needed to have
Yep.
Kristy here.
Just gotta
Sadness.
remind. I just want to point out that Aaron has told us at least twice today that we were right. So,
Yeah.
obviously, we were right.
Well,
Yeah.
here's the thing. Because you're right about one thing doesn't mean you're right about everything.
Sorry, I've already
I
heard
know
you say,
you're
Kristy,
in
you
the
were
bubble
right,
of
and that's what I am
delusion.
running with for the rest of the night, my
And
friend.
it feels like you're going to run with it for the rest of your life, which is the
Honestly,
sad part there.
Hey, that's how satisfying it is when Aaron tells you that you are right because it hurts him inside when he says it.
It doesn't hurt me at all. Why would I say something that hurts
Wow. The denial right now.
me? Why would I
The
say
denial in his
something?
face.
Why would I
delusion.
say something that hurts me? That's insanity. That's insanity.
Because I was right.
Uh,
Hello. And now we've gone full circle.
I mean, if you want to record it and play it as you go to sleep, that's fine.
it's already been recorded.
That's your business. That is your business. So I don't know. Where do you guys see this going? The whole WandaVision. The next episode is going to be entitled. Oh, they don't even have it on here. Okay, cool. Thanks for helping out, internet.
Gotta be super
sheesh.
mysterious.
But these titles aren't giving away the plot or anything like that. Episode 1 is called Filmed for a Live Studio Audience. Wonder what that could be about. Number 2 is Don't Touch That Dial. 3, Now in Color. 4, We Interrupt This Program. And 5, On a Very Special Episode. They're not giving away too much, so they could give us the
I
name.
play one theory real quick.
Okay,
So the first episode is called, was it filmed in front of a live audience?
correct.
So it's filmed in front of a live audience. And when you see the town, there's only, a handful of people, like 30, 40 people. But it says there's like a couple thousand there. Are the rest of the people held hostage as the live audience?
I mean, that's a theory. If they turn the camera and you see just a bunch of people sitting in some stands.
Yeah,
and-
but also that's the thing is like you made a really good point. There's thousands of people there. Like even Vision mentioned it a few times. Where's all the kids? Like if they're holding hostages, and then also Agnes even made a mention of like it doesn't work on kids. Like it didn't work on Wanda's kids. Maybe it's not specifically Wanda's kids magic doesn't work on. But then where are the child hostages?
Yeah, because if it's a whole town, there's. I mean, it's hard to believe that a whole town isn't, doesn't have any kids. I mean,
Because magic doesn't work on them.
why wouldn't magic work on kids though?
Don't know. But it didn't work on Wanda's kids, and we all thought it was because of it being Wanda's kids.
What other kids have we seen in the Marvel Cinematic Universe?
Ant-Man's kid?
Yeah. His daughter, Hawkeye's
kids. Nobody around magic though?
Literally Spider-Man.
Nobody around
Spider-Kid.
Nobody around magic though?
Not really, no.
Okay. So yeah,
Tony's
everybody
daughter. Yeah.
around
Tony's
technology.
daughter, yeah.
Then so nobody around magic yet. That's what I was trying to think. Like, have we seen anything around any type of like? There was no kids in Doctor Strange, right?
No.
No.
Okay, so we're keeping kids away from magic. Got it.
I mean, Monica was a kid at one point, right?
Yeah, but she wasn't around the magic.
Yeah, but she wasn't really.
at the
Yeah,
time.
she was around like aliens.
Infinity Stone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, she's probably infected with some type of weird scroll blood pathogen or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
But yeah, where do you guys see the next episode going? Now that the cat's out of the bag, where do we see the next episode going? Let's speak to the future.
I think Grim Reaper, he's going to make more subtle hints that he's there, because right now he's just like kind of there lurking in the background. So I feel like he's going to start slowly making more of an appearance and reveal himself.
Think he
I'm
is?
the big bad guy.
Who do you think he is, Sue? Because I mean, there's a lot of suspects.
There's a lot of suspects, but it's like I kind of thought it was maybe that neighbor, but at the same time, I'm not sure. Maybe
the black guy, that neighbor.
Yeah, the one that was cutting through his fence with the afro and everything. But at the same time, I'm not sure. Like, I really have no idea who it is, but I definitely think Agnes is that big, huge witch, and I think she's just there to actually help Wanda, not to like hurt her or anything. She's there to like assist her through this and see like how powerful she really is. So she's more like just kind of like testing, watching.
Yeah.
You think she's an ally?
I think she is a little bit, yeah.
I feel like
she wants to like kind of train her and use her for like powers later on. So right now she's kind of an ally to help her guide her through this, but
okay. Kristy?
I think they're gonna spend a lot more time, like the whole Quicksilver angle, like seeing how they interact with each other. I still really like. I think at some point, like, when's the next time the kids age up, and like at what time? Like they even, I think they mention it. Like they're like, if it was Monday, shouldn't we be in school? Kind of idea. So like, I feel like they're gonna explore more on the like going forward with the kids and that idea of like, hey, magic doesn't affect them. Where the fucking kids at?
I think by the end of it all, at least, I'll go that far into the future. I think those kids are going to escape somehow, even though they're going to probably be like...
I think all of them will, except Vision, because they'll just be dead.
Maybe on the Halloween episode, because you see Vision and Scarlet, they're dressed up in like their comic book outfits, which is really awesome and a really cool nod to the comics. But you see them, they're like running around kind of looking like Wanda almost looks like she's in a panic. So it looks like she's searching for something. Same with Vision. So J-Lab said in the chat that maybe Vision is trying to leave Westview, but maybe it's the kids, because you don't see the kids on Halloween, at least in the preview so far.
Ooh, if they dress the kids up like their counterparts in the comic books, so cool. That'd be dope. That would be extremely dope. I'd be down to see that one.
Oh my God, Quicksilver in his outfit too.
Yeah, and like in the trailer, I mean, they're not going to show it a lot, but they didn't show too much more of him in the trailer for the next one.
No, they didn't show him at all.
If they do a thing where they instantly just take him out.
Oh my God.
Like he's in for the first like 5 minutes and then somehow he's just gone. And it's just a one like cameo for shock just to get people to be like, oh, I got to go and see it. Or what am I missing? I'm going to be upset. Because I feel like this is an opportunity to lean into this multiverse thing and stick with it.
Yeah.
So
I feel like something's going to happen to her kids, or something's going to happen in the reality, and she's going to go absolutely insane, kind of like in the House of M. And instead of like saying that famous line, no more mutants, she's going to like do something where it opens up the multiverse to bring more people that they're like her, like mutants. and that's how they're going
Like
to tie in the
that.
Fox.
I think we're gonna get that at the end of Multiverse of Madness.
Are you sure? I don't know. I think it's going to be maybe at the end of this, and it's going to tie into the multiverse, and that like Doctor Strange, he's going to make some sort of appearance, and then he's going to take her away, and then they're going to go try to like solve the multiverse and try to like close all the gates.
And I think
And
that's
that's
where
the movie.
I think that's where she's gonna see mutants, like more of her kind for the first time. And then when she realizes like there's people out there like me, but they're not like there's not like that many in my world. I want to bring that back here. And that's
Yeah.
where she brings in the mutants. That could be a thing. I don't know. Like
Yeah.
like that would be
I would love to see
interesting.
that though. Like how all these mutants who came from one lifestyle where like their powers were frowned upon, and now they've come into a world where superheroes and magic and everyone's used to it, and it's got SHIELD, SWORD, and all these organizations that help support them.
As a freaking kid,
They're rogue.
I always wondered, because the X-Men are, my favorite in Marvel. I
Yeah.
was like, why do the people in the world hate mutants? But you're cool with Spider-Man. How do you know he's not a mutant? You're cool with Luke Cage. How do you know he's not a mutant? Like, there's a bunch of the Fantastic Four. All of them could be mutants. Like,
But they're not mutants, they're mutates.
yeah, but how do I know the difference between somebody that catches on fire that's a mutant, or who's Johnny Storm, or somebody that catches on fire that's a mutant and his name is Sunspot? They have the exact same abilities, the exact same powers, and when they're flamed on, they look the exact same. So it's like,
I feel like maybe it's because like a lot of the superheroes that we see in like at least the MCU, they work with the government. And so they're like, oh, okay, so this is somebody that we could trust because people are easily fooled like that. And whereas like mutants, they're just everyday people. So you're like, oh, it's like they're carrying a gun, like they could be super dangerous. I don't know what they're capable of. I don't know if they're here to help me or what.
that's the other thing. How are we going to deal with mutants when they do arrive here? Because I had a discussion at work. I believe it was last week or something, of how do we introduce and modernize, and we had it in our discussion on our Discord, where how do you modernize these characters that are very outdated? So like Magneto, a big part of his character is the Holocaust. He's a Holocaust survivor, which when you think about it, a group of teenagers beating up on a Holocaust survivor week in, week out is kind of insensitive.
A little bit.
So how do you modernize that though? Like, how do you make that relevant? Because he'd be what, in his 80s, 90s, something by now? Like, so how do we bring that
You wouldn't be able to fight anybody, really.
But with this multiverse of madness and Wanda ripping through dimensions, you can rip Fassbender out and he'd be the same age. He'd have that same experience of being a Holocaust survivor, but he's now in the modern times.
Yeah.
He's now he's now with us here. So I don't know. And then the world already knows about superpowered beings. So adding a couple million of them to the world now do we hate mutants all of a sudden? Did anybody watch Endgame? Mutants basically saved your planet. So what are we talking about? So it's going to be very interesting to see how they integrate. And then when they finally say the word mutant, because that was off limits for the longest. If you watch Age of Ultron, they couldn't call them mutants. They had to call
because that bugged me so much in that movie when it came out.
Yeah, because they didn't own the rights back then, right?
No, they didn't own the rights. But so now that they do, who's going to classify all these people as mutants? Because is it going to be Charles Xavier when it gets there? Nick Fury, is he going to say it?
No, if they bring them over from the multiverse, like the word already exists.
So we're just we're bringing the word over from the multiverse.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, it makes sense. It definitely makes sense. I don't know. This episode was a door opener for sure.
I'm excited for next week's.
Yes,
I'm really excited.
But
what do you think is going to happen? Because we kind of end up going on a tangent and everything. We didn't get to hear what Kristy thoughts on the next episode.
I thought we did.
Did we?
I know.
Was just me.
I was thinking no, because I think
listening.
I think they're gonna explore more in the kids, like that idea. I'm still magic doesn't affect the kids, and Agnes said that. Now I'm just leaning hard into that idea. Where are the kids? Vision said it. Now they didn't go to school. I think Vision's gonna continue to realize that something fucked up is going on, and then Yeah, I'm really looking forward to like how Quicksilver will tear things apart and like the impact his new role will have here.
Are these kids stupid?
Which kids?
The twins.
No, I think they just, they were born yesterday. And they just haven't had a chance to talk much yet.
Exactly.
They seemed intelligent enough to ask for a dog. So, and then,
I mean, that's a want. I mean, it's easy to ask for a want.
They've been alive for 2 days and they've already had a dog and watched the dog die. So,
I mean, it's a lot more than a lot of some people have never gone through. Yeah, death and stuff like that. So yeah, I don't know. I kind of think like these kids don't know how to read. Like when they
that's probably true.
I mean, they weren't taught to read technically.
So I mean, and dad's always at work. He's always out getting a pack of cigarettes, never coming home.
I mean, their dad is a machine, so maybe it's programmed into their brain.
Okay, all right. Now we're getting into
what if
stuff.
They're from a multiverse? They're from a different universe. Ooh. And like every time we watch them age up, we're just stealing a different version of children, putting the other ones back.
Ooh, and they're all just like in a cage somewhere with all the other children.
Yes,
so then,
exactly.
Wait, did they age up in front of Agnes?
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
Oh, yes. She might be the one doing that.
I'm just saying.
Because every time they were about to... Wait, no, their first age up wasn't in front of her, right?
No, it wasn't in front of her. Just when they went from 5 to 10 because they had the puppy.
Yeah.
It wasn't. Well, no, she was around though. Because
remember,
she was there when the babies.
That's
and she
right.
went to go get alcohol.
She's always been around.
Where she was. They intentionally didn't show where she was during that. We just see her after they've aged up. Yeah.
We see her right before and after. Yeah. Okay.
The age up is her. Because even when they were gonna do it again, but they didn't. When she's like, "Don't you two age up?" Agnes was right behind them.
Yeah, and she was the one who was trying to get them to take the puppy. Yeah. And then the parents were like, "Oh, you've got to be 10." Next thing, Agnes aged them up to 10.
Oh yeah, for sure. All right, we've wrapped it up. Don't watch the show anymore, guys. We've already we wrapped up everything.
I solved it.
We've wrapped everything up right now. You guys are welcome.
That was the show.
It was a full spoiler. If you're listening to the podcast though, because we are coming towards the end, and you're missing out on the live chat where everybody, thank you, has been so helpful and joining in with good questions and good discussions and theories we never heard of. You can join us every Friday at around 7:30, I'll say, Western time. Yeah. Schedules might be weird because I'm in a moving period where I'll, gonna be moving to different locations, getting a new little setup. So
it's like how moving works.
I mean, somehow you can, whatever. But yeah,
we're very happy for you.
Twitch.tv/before you log off is where you can find us and see at least half of our faces in real time.
We're all real. It's just some of us look like we've pulled on face masks made of people's skins.
I feel like
they're terrifying.
The superior faces is
Don't look at the Twitch. Don't look at the Twitch. It's terrifying right now.
But yeah, and then you can also join the discussions as well. We have a full spoiler chat on our Discord. You can find that on all our social medias, which is just before you log off on Twitter and just go to Twitter.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
So don't focus on the negatives. All right, let's focus on the positives here.
The one active account.
Exactly. Yes. So yeah, that's
it. Building up.
We're trying.
All right, Kristy. Is there anything you want to say before we log off?
That's all I've got for you folks. I was right today. Like we're looking forward to be right again next week. And that's all I got.
Okay. Rachel, is there anything you want to say before we log off?
I do. I actually want to say I think it's really cool that they're doing this story because if you look at past interviews, her name is Elizabeth Olsen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. So she did an interview right after the Ultron movie came out, and they're like, "Oh, what is your favorite Scarlet Witch story?" And she says, "Oh, House of M. I would really love for them to do that story and explore Scarlet Witch and have her kids, and then for someone to say, hey, they aren't real, and for her to just go absolutely crazy. But Marvel will never do that story." In the interview, I was like, "Oh, never say never." And look at them now; they're doing the story.
Yeah,
like, oh, girl, your time to shine. Yes.
That also reminds me, though, that in case you all weren't aware, similar to Aaron, Elizabeth Olsen is related to the Olsen twins.
Mary-Kate and Ashley, yes. Aaron just found out that today, which was a little sad.
I was
but
today years old when I found that out, everybody, because
I don't know how he didn't know, but
it's not like she's been around them or something like that
they
all the
look
time.
identical. They look like they're triplets. They all look like a clone of each other.
They absolutely do.
I
Like
did-
all I saw
Yeah.
during Full House, I was like, oh, it looks like Michelle. It's like, as an
Yeah.
adult.
The moment they casted her, I was like, oh shit, they have another sister. That was my thought. Like I already knew.
I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't have called it. So, I mean,
Terrible.
Hey, mazel tov.
Well,
Congratulations.
according to him, he thought Evan Peters, he didn't even like piece them together that was the same guy from American Horror Story or in Kick-Ass, and he said all white guys look the same. Which
No,
is,
no, I didn't. See,
You
more
actually
lies.
technically
You
did.
actually
No,
did.
no. What I
Yeah.
said was, and this is how they lie and manipulate. What I said
He really
was,
did say
what
all
I
these white people
said,
look the same.
Nope. What I said was, I actively made sure that I wasn't trying to stereotype and be like all white people look the same. So that's why I was like, no,
Lies.
they're different
technically you said it.
actors. I was like,
Technically, you said.
wow, no. If you're going with the technically that the words came out of my mouth.
Aaron, it's okay. We're all like mayonnaise. It's fine. We're
Wow,
the same.
whatever. Anyway, we're wrapping this one up. So for the Lion Kristy, and
Wow.
that's right.
What?
That's
I don't even
right.
want glasses. Thank you very much. I can see.
Wow.
Boom.
And her lion friend Rachel as well. That's right. Both of you two liars. Liars.
I like Vaughn's
Delusional
lion
Aaron.
friend, but she is the main liar.
Lie.
Well,
I mean,
but-
you're basically the Agnes to her Wanda right now. You guys
Well,
are both
everyone, that was the delusional host, Sir Aaron Carter.
delusional.
Yep.
I am Sir Aaron Carter saying,
Delusional.
wow, that is enough internet for today. Jeez.
That was great.
Good times.
Also, I think someone in chat said, I think the Norm Vision moment was huge. And I was like, I want to go into that, but we were wrapping up. But also it was huge because what I realized is Norm said she's hurting us. She's doing it, but it wasn't Wanda's doing this. Yeah. Norm.
His coworker.
He said she's doing this to us. So like I'm like, I don't trust Agnes, y'all. Like everyone's thinking it's a dude that's causing all of this, but now like after hearing Norm say that, it clicked. I think
because like what's it? Monica said it was Wanda. It was Monica. It was Wanda in her head, and she said she could
in her head. But
that's
also because Wanda knew that she was a sword agent and like was trying to maybe like clue her in on what was going on. But I don't know. I don't think it's Wanda doing all of the like people around her.
Sorry.
Classy.
Sorry.
Hold on, let's see.
What day is it?
Continue, Kristy.
How long?
Hold on.
Where's my phone? I have to call my sister.
What are we holding on for?
They can hear the scene right
Where's
now.
my phone?
Calm yourself, Norm.
I mean,
I can't understand.
they're
Of
in
Norm.
stream.
You have to stop her.
Stop who?
Yeah.
She's in.
Oh, you're rewatching it?
Yeah, so he's like, you have to stop her, she's in, and then he's like, stop who? She's in my head.
My head. None of it is my own.
And that's the thing is like I can't imagine that Wanda would do that to other people. Like I get like
It's because Wanda went crazy. I mean, the comics, she would 100% do that.
Crazy.
She crazy lady.
J-Lap, that's rude.
What did J-Lap say?
He said,
Shut up,
Kristy.
Jeez.
We're trying to listen. Okay.
Jeez.
He's trying to support Aaron now over here. For some reason, the delusional Aaron.
I'm just glad to see John. Who?
John Krasinski.
John Krasinski in the MCU? He's not
Look
in
up
it.
who that is.
He's not in it. Is he?
He's literally that's the Unabomber, yeah, y'all.
That's Ted Kaczynski. Is you're. Sheesh.
No. Oh, you right. No, it's Theodore John Kaczynski. That's the Unabomber.
Well, when I Google searched off of how he wrote it, it's literally Ted Kaczynski.
They meant Jim from The Office.
Yes, I know exactly who he meant, but he spelled out the wrong freaking person.
Isn't he rumored to be Mr. Fantastic?
I hope not. The dude's dead.
Mr. Fantastic?
What?
Isn't Ted Kaczynski dead?
No, John Krasinski, Jim from The Office.
And actually, I don't think Ted Kaczynski
You know,
is dead, actually.
Oh my god.
this line of discussion
Nope,
just went
he's
way
still
off the
alive.
way.
How?
He's 78 years old. He's in prison.
How?
Dedication
It wasn't that long ago, man.
What do you mean it wasn't that long ago? No, we're not even going to get into what he did, and the man is still walking the earth. Whatever. We're talking about Mr. Fantastic.
Okay,
Really?
right.
That's autocorrect? What are you talking about Ted Kaczynski for that your phone would autocorrect that? Jeez.
Oh my god.
But anyway, the Mr. Fantastic isn't in it, hasn't been cast yet. They didn't so Krasinski, who is a good friend of mine.
No, he's not. Don't lie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Has he
once more?
Has he ever spoken to any of you two?
No, but this is the first time I'm hearing this, and I feel like you would have mentioned it before.
I mean, he's had conversation with me, so I mean.
All right, show me the receipts. Let me see him call you. Call him up right now. I'll do it.
Do you think people are just toys to just call at any time? And no,
they have a phone number, call him. But also, I want to touch back on that joke because are we saying is John Krasinski from The Office because Jimmy Woo?
Yes.
Identity. I love everything about this. I'm sorry.
I love Jimmy Woo.
I just had to bring it back to appreciate that moment.
Yes, he did a good job in both roles. Actually, I would. Somebody said they want to see it on Twitter. They want to see him in a show where he's
it's like a X-Files,
like an X-Files, but for Marvel characters. I'd watch it.
Be super
down.
Oh
yeah, 100%. Like him and Kat Dennings together, they could be like Scully and Mulder.
I love everything about this.
I love it.
Identity theft is not a joke. Jeremiah Squared. The Woo and Darcy show.
He's quoting Dwight from The Office. He's like, identity theft is not a joke, Jim.
yeah, I think that's what, and it's always like Marvel has a way of doing these things where they'll have a character and the internet will just find the character within, like not even the main character of the show, and they were like, this is the star right here. So like when Ant-Man came out, there was just a bunch of memes with what's his name, Pena, the other guy,
his friend that tells
the long stories. Yeah,
so
like they just took that and they just ran with that one. Like,
know what I would have really loved for him to recap all the Marvel movies. Just have like a clip of him doing that.
Oh my god, that would be
in character
4-hour movie.
I would sit for the 4 hours though.
I left shit out of this.
It would be so good. But no, I really want to see Randall Park and more stuff. So if they can like get him to like be like have him play Jimmy Woo as like a main character, I would absolutely love that because I really liked him in was it Always Be My Maybe, Fresh Off the Boat. He was really good in the interview, so he's a good actor.
Yeah,
he's kind of like the new, well, with the attention that he's getting, he's kind of like the new Coulson.
Yeah, I also heard that, like, hey, instead of like having Coulson, have him, and he can kind of like bring in all the new Avengers, like kind of how like Coulson did.
Young Avengers.
Yeah, the Young Avengers. Yeah, they pretty much already have that already set up now too.
I think they're just missing, like, what is it, Hulkling? Was that his name? And Hulkling, then the Patriot. Is that his name, Patriot?
I don't know. I'm actually not really like a big, huge Marvel fan. Like I know Marvel, but most of the stuff I know from Marvel is just from cartoons and movies. I grew up more as like a DC person. Like if you look in my room right now, every single superhero thing in here is DC.
Wow.
I like X-Men. I loved X-Men, but that was pretty much my extent of Marvel knowledge. I didn't know really anything about the Avengers, or didn't really care until the movies started coming out.
Yeah, it's Patriot. That's so they're missing Patriot, which
wow,
I heard
Jeremiah.
which they were gonna do in there. They got Wiccan, they got Speed, they've got, I didn't know Miss America was a part of it, but they said that she's gonna be in it sometime. So I think instead of Iron Lad, they're probably gonna put in Iron Heart.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super down for that.
I think that's where they'll switch it up. I'm gonna probably read these Young Avengers. I've never really read the Young Avengers comic books, but I'll probably.
I know Emma's obsessed with them because she's obsessed with Wiccan. She loves him. So
that's one I'll put in our comic book corner on our Discord.
Yeah,
kind of goes
we still
down.
need to do our comic book weekly reads and
Dude,
everything.
the King in Black or the freaking whatever,
No, I need
that
to catch up.
the latest ones are
What is
ridiculous.
this?
So
what am I supposed to be reading?
we've been
Really good.
recapping a story arc in Marvel Comics, The King in Black, which is about Null, the symbiote god coming to Earth and kind of taking everything over, and it follows Eddie Brock, most of the Avengers, and then how they're dealing with this new threat, basically. But so far it's a good story. I'd really
Wait to read. What to read? How to read?
You posted it in the Discord, right?
You can go to your local comic book shop, guys, and support
I
your
am-
local
Actually, you can't.
comic book shop.
You
You
can't right now
can't.
because the first issue is only out physically. So most of the issues are out digitally.
Or you can go to
but physically-
marvel.com and go read them on marvel.com, everybody.
Or I go to Libby and see if they have them
I'm going
at my
to
library.
say go to your library, support your local library.
What?
Why are
hi,
you, like-
in the middle of a pandemic? Aaron's like, go out and become a super spreader.
I didn't say go and breathe on your local
Mhm.
library. There's other ways to check out things without going in and contaminating America. Jeez.
I don't know. You sent us all a link so we could read it for free.
I have no
send that to Kristy
idea what
too.
you're talking about.
Uh,
I don't condone stealing. So there you go. There you go, everybody.
What a thief.
Thank you, LB. Support your local comic shop, guys. Support
I
them.
did. I actually went to my local comic shop and I was like, hey, where are all your issues? Was it King in Black? Right? That's what it's called.
Yeah. Well, I
Yeah.
don't see. I'm
But they only
so
had the first one because the first one's only out physically. And I was like, I just read number 2.
fiscally. There's only
Physically.
fiscally.
Physically.
Physically.
It's good. I haven't caught up on all the tie-ins and everything though. That's something that's difficult for me. Is like all the different like, oh, here's what the Fantastic Four were doing right now. Here's what the X-Men were doing right now. That's a tough, thing. Yeah, that's a tough one. But yeah, we're recapping that one. I don't know what next story arc we probably could be doing like multiple ones since it's taken so long for these to keep coming out.
Yeah.
But we'll see. We'll see. It's for our BYLO's comic book corner.
Yeah, I was gonna say we instead of a book club, it's a comic club.
Yeah.
Our comic book cubicle, because that's usually where I'm reading mine, is in a cubicle.
I don't condone that. Anyway, I don't like that.
You don't condone reading in cubicles?
Nope.
Why?
Never going back to that cubicle life.
Oh wow. Okay.
I'm
I
free.
actually don't hate the cubicle life.
Nope, don't like it. Don't like it.
So sitting on my couch, hanging out with my cats while I work is a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it's yes. Support your local ones if you can, guys. We need them around because we want this back. Oblivion Comics and Coffee, everybody. That's why I constantly have the
That's what I want.
backdrops.
I want Oblivion back because, like, the comic shop I went to, they obviously have never had a girl in their shop before.
Really?
They weren't like mean. They were very just like dismissive, and they just kind of ignored me. And I had to ask for help like 3 times, and they're like, "Oh," and then they just kind of like turn around basically. And when I asked, I was like, "Hey, do you have the King in Black?" And they're kind of looking for it. They're like, "Oh, we have Black Cat for you," and I'm like, "That's not."
Dang! So we have Kitty Star
Damn.
Adventures for you if that's what you were looking for, right?
What?
Yeah,
the
and it was like
fuck?
I told him I was like ready to check out. I was like, "Hey, I'm looking for this too," and then he was like, "Oh, let me go look." And then when he couldn't find it, he just went back to his thing, and I was like, I still need to check out, sir. I want to give you money."
Dang.
That's a hard.
I've only actually
Yeah.
seen that once in real life, and that was at a comic book shop like years and years ago. And I can't remember. LB and Chad will probably remember what was the name of the comic book shop in Sacramento that had a giant vault inside of the comic book shop. It was like a giant door, but it was a vault door because I think the place used to be a bank or something like that. But when I went in there, the The customer
terrible,
service, it was just me. And
Same with J-Labs. It's horrible.
it was like me and then one other guy and then two girls came in and they were looking through the comic books and I overheard them talking about the comic books and everything like that. And then when they went up to the teller, there was just like a disconnect. Like he just was uninterested. They were asking for specific ones and he was like, I don't know if we have those. But it's like just so like just rude. And I was like, all right, cool, dude. Actually, I didn't even buy anything there. I think when I saw that, I may have been, I don't know if I was with Steven or whoever I was with. I was like, I don't want anything here.
No.
Like, yeah, I kind of just don't want anything here because if I go up there and they say something to me, I'm going to say something back. Like, they won't, because there's a difference. But like,
it was like, yeah, it was kind of weird too because like they were super friendly with Galen when he walked in. They're like, oh yeah, because his brother used to work there, so they knew each other, and they're all super friendly. Like, yeah, we got these cards and all that. And then when they got to me, they're like, they just didn't know how to interact. They didn't know how to talk to me, and I was like,
woman, I don't. What is this?
Does that compute?
You don't read, right? That's illegal.
I like looking at the pretty pictures.
That's terror. That's terrible. So yeah.
Gerbil.
That's
Gerbil. Oh, I don't condone the use of the word gerbil.
Why?
That means
terrible.
Yeah, but on a Jerry level.
Yeah.
That's why
Jerry's not
gerbil.
Terrible.
He does a lot of terrible things.
I mean, sometimes he does.
His timing is always fantastic. I laugh. It's so terrible, but it's
so terrible. It's terrible. You're halfway there.
You're almost there.
You're almost there.
No, I don't want to be all the way there. I don't like where this is going.
It autocorrects in my phone now. That's how many times I used it. That's how many times I used it. But we're going to wrap it up tonight, guys. Now that I'm a little more stable and my bottom lip isn't as giant as a watermelon.
What did you do with what?
Once I get a little more, I had an allergic reaction to some medicine and my bottom lip swole up. And I didn't know if we were going to do the show tonight. But my lip is back to normal size.
People pay good money for those lip fillers, Aaron.
I know, and
I'm saving up for some. Come on, man.
I can show you guys, and don't you do that. Don't you ever like what I have in my bottom lip when it was gigantic. That was terrible.
I want to look like a Bratz doll.
But I'm all fine now. We've done that. But yeah, I'm gonna edit the podcast and put it up. We'll probably do some streaming tomorrow because Jerry in chat suggested a game that looks like it's on Game Pass.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's called Protect Winter.
Yeah. All right, guys. So we're wrapping it up. We will see you guys later. Wave to the people. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Sue.
All right. That's okay.